So now this is about the theory of Kubernetes. Let's try to understand it in practicals. Let's try to understand the installation part of Kubernetes. So installation of Kubernetes is present in this commands folder in Kubernetes 0 to hero, the GitHub repository which I have created. I'll follow all the step which is a part of this repository, which is a part of this commands folder. So now let's get into the command folder and let's see what it contains. So now this command folder contains two subfolder. One folder is for Linux operating system, another folder is for Windows operating system. So if you're a Linux user, get into the Linux folder, and it is having a MD file, markdown file, which is with the name Kubernetes setup. And this contains all necessary steps which you need to follow in order to install Kubernetes on Linux operating system of Ubuntu distribution. So now, in order to install, the first command which you have to execute is apt update. Then you have to install docker.io. So that will be very much important because Kubernetes is not a containerization tool. You will certainly need a containerization platform. Docker is the widely used containerization platform at this point. So definitely we are going to also use Docker as the containerized platform in this series. So to begin with, you have to install Docker, and this you have to do it pretty much quickly because this will be very much needed for you to practice more and more, as I'll explain you more and more practical scenario in our upcoming session, in our upcoming module in this series. Now after that, you have to enable and start Docker service. Commands are present here, and then you verify Docker installation with the use of this command. And then you allow the current user to run Docker without sudo. Otherwise, you have to always put sudo in front of all the Docker command. With this, you are providing user permissions so that you no need to use sudo with every execution of Docker command. And after that, you install kubectl. Like the way I said earlier also, kubectl will not be pre-installed in your machine. You have to install kubectl. So in order to install kubectl, these are the steps which you need to follow in Linux operating system. We'll talk about this in Windows operating system also. So now chmod will change the permissions to kubectl, and then you'll have to move the kubectl to bin directory so that you will be able to use it from anywhere. It's not only the place where kubectl binaries are present, you want to use it from anywhere, and that is where you have to put it in bin directory. And then you can check what the kubectl version is with this command. Now, there are multiple ways to install to set up Kubernetes cluster. The one which we are going to use is kind. Other ways are Minikube. You can work on AKS cluster, which is on Azure. You can work on EKS cluster, which is on AWS. You can work on GKE cluster, which is on Google. All these configuration remain same. I just want to save some money because if you are installing or configuring it on AWS, Azure, or on Google, it will cost you some money. For now, I am setting it up locally by using kind, and you will see how I'll be able to scale it up, scale it down. Features does not change which cloud vendor you go and work with. Only what changes the platform where you're deploying. That's it. No other changes. I'll also try to show you in AWS and Azure cloud platform as well on how does it work, how does it look like there. For now, let's see. So I'll be using kind as the tool to install Kubernetes cluster for Kubernetes cluster setup in my Windows machine. For Linux user, you will install kind first with execution of this command. First, you will download the kind binary, and then you will change the permission and make the kind binary executable. And then you will be able to move it to again bin folder, bin directory, and then you can check the kind version from anywhere. Kind command will work from anywhere. And after that, you create Kubernetes cluster. Now, in order to create Kubernetes cluster, we are going to use kind command because now since you have installed kind in the previous step, kind command will work from anywhere. And with the use of kind command execution, you will be able to create kind cluster, follow the syntax of the command like the way it is here to create Kubernetes cluster, and it will be in minutes. You try to do it, you see how it works. It will be in minutes. You will be able to set up Kubernetes cluster in your machine. And after that you will be able to see all the cluster information. Say in case if you want to delete cluster, you don't want to use the cluster, you want to delete it, then the command for deletion of cluster is also present. You can use that, but till the time this series goes, no need to delete it, as it's present in your local. Even it won't incur any cost, so no worries about that. This is on Linux. So now let's go and see the commands in Windows. Now in Windows, you no need to install Docker with the execution of subcommand. We do have Docker Desktop, Docker Desktop as a software present, which you have to install from this link. So now, in order to download it by using Docker Desktop, so you just click on the link which I put in the document also. Here it comes, and you click on Docker, download Docker Desktop. You can download on Mac as well. You can download on Windows as well. You can download for Linux also. For Linux, I've already explained you the command that will be more favorable, but you can install on Windows as well or Mac as well with the use of these all configurations. So as you click on download, it will download the binary. Then again, it's the installation wizard which opens, which you have to click on next, next, and as it finishes, you will end up downloading your Docker desktop software. After it is downloaded, you can check the Docker version. For me, it is already downloaded. I'll be able to check the Docker version here. So now in order to check the Docker version, let me just pull my terminal. So in order to check the Docker version, you can just execute the command docker hyphen hyphen version, and it will tell you that yes, Docker version 29.1.3 is already installed for me. As of now, there is nothing. If I execute docker ps as the command, then nothing, no container is running at this point. Henceforth, it's not showing anything. Now it says that I've installed, and I've also seen the Docker version which is installed at this point. Again, now in case of Windows, the package manager which will help us to install all the software is Chocolatey. So if you're Chocolatey is just a package manager. Like apt is the package manager for Ubuntu, Yum is the package manager for Red Hat Enterprise Linux, CentOS. Similarly, Choco is the package manager for Windows. In order to, the first thing which you have to do is you have to install Choco. You have to Windows. Is you have to check the execution policy, and execution policy should not show restricted. So let's when you copy this command and when you execute this, it's showing remote sign. It should not show restricted. If it shows restricted, then you execute this command to just change it into the state which is remote signed, like the way you saw. Once that is done, after that you have to install Chocolatey. So this was the prerequisite. Next is Chocolatey installation. In order to install, you just copy paste these steps. You just copy paste, copied and execute it. Copy paste and you just execute it. For me, it is already installed, so I won't reinstall it. I'll just show you on the installation of what happens after installation. So after installation, you can check the version of Choco. So let's see what the Choco version I do have. Choco, when I've installed, the version of Choco was 2.5.0. Say if you are installing, you will get the latest version. The one which I've installed is 2.5.0. After this, the next step will be install Kubernetes CLI, install, and after you have installed, executed this command, you will be ending up installing kubectl, which is nothing but the Kubernetes CLI, which will provide you the intermediate with the mediatory, which will allow you to communicate with Kubernetes cluster. So kubectl is the package manager which allows you to communicate with Kubernetes cluster by execution of some commands by command line interface, and that you will get with execution of this part of command. Again, for me, Kubernetes command line interface is installed. So I'll execute this command kubectl version -fn client to see which version of kubectl is installed. For me, the kubectl version is 1.34.1. So this is already installed. The next step is to install kind. So now kind, like the way we saw in Linux, we have to install in Windows also. So now to install kind, we have to execute this command choco install kind -y, and it will install kind for you. Now, when after you install, you can check the kind version with the execution of kind version command. And as I execute this, the time when I've installed kind, the version available was 0.31.0. Maybe the time when you are trying to install kind, it will be of some higher version. Now, after the kind installation, next is to check for the cluster. So now let's see first what are the clusters I do have at this point. So kind get clusters is the command to get which and how many clusters are present. As of now, no kind cluster is found. So now the next thing which I have to do is I have to install kind cluster, Kubernetes cluster. I have to set up Kubernetes cluster with execution of kind command, and that is where this command will come. I'll just copy this command and execute this, and what it does is, you see, it is trying to set up Kubernetes cluster for me. See how easy it is. So no need to overcomplicate things. Kubernetes setup will keep it easy. We'll install it by using kind. We will try to learn more complicated topics in Kubernetes in depth, so that we'll have better knowledge of Kubernetes as a software. So now you see Kubernetes cluster setup completes. Now if I execute the command Kubernetes get nodes, kubectl get nodes, it will give me, okay, fine, this is my this is the name of my node. As of now, this is having only control plane. This should have some more nodes also, which is a part of data plane, which we'll see in our upcoming modules as well. So what you have learned till now in our today's session in module 1, what you have learned. So basically in today's module, in module 1, you learned about the setup of Kubernetes cluster, and also to begin with, you have learned why Kubernetes. Kubernetes is also abbreviated as K8s. K8s is known as Kubernetes. So this is the first thing, Kubernetes. And the next thing which you have learned after learning the why Kubernetes is, what is Kubernetes? Second thing which you have learned is what is Kubernetes? And after this, we have also learned about the setup procedure for Kubernetes cluster. So we also learned about Kubernetes setup, where we learned about kubectl installation of Kubernetes cluster with the use of kind. This is what I wanted to cover in module 1. Today's session of module 1. We'll have more sessions in module 1 as well, wherein we'll talk about more and more in depth of Kubernetes. So if you did not subscribe my channel yet, subscribe it so that you remain updated with all the videos which I'm going to post, all the series which I'm going to create. If you liked my session, please share it with others also, so that even others will get benefited. Thank you everyone for watching. See you in my next session.